For you, JCT for Education. I'm so happy it is Friday. We've been working round the clock to help our students, our families, and today is a very special day. We have an absolutely wonderful guest, and she's already here. Blue, let's see, you're Friday, and we're gonna have an amazing conversation with our good friend, colleague, Christie Culp. How are
Hi
you, my friend?
guys, happy Friday. Or for
Happy
those of you that
Friday.
are in Asia, I'm sure there aren't very many of you, but happy Saturday.
How are you? Happy Saturday to everyone watching from Asia. How you been?
I have been well, yes. I've been enjoying working from home once I got into my new reality. Yeah, you can see I'm in a backyard in the lovely California sunshine with a very stereotypical orange tree orchard behind me. Yeah, been doing very well.
Absolutely. And for all of you watching, thank you so much. You see, I see Monica Orlich from Costa Rica. Monica,
Hola,
hola,
Mónica.
¿cómo estás? Monica, do me a favor. Anna, everyone that is watching, you see a little fly, like a little plane right there? Hola from Chile. Please tell your friends that we're here with a rock star, Christy Cole from Loyola Marymount in California, in Los Angeles. So Christy, this is a very informal setting. You know, I'm wearing my JCT for
You
Education
know,
shirt.
I came prepared too because I'm wearing my JTC under my LMU, you see?
I see that. I like that. So I gotta confess, you gave me this beautiful LMU hat, and when we run our seminar in Colombia, one of the employees at Kirama, they say, Juanca, I love your hat, and I went like, this is for you. So next time I see you, I need to get my new LMU hat.
You tell me what you need and it's done.
Okay, but for everybody watching, Christy Culp is a phenomenal professional, associate director of international admissions at LMU and outreach. You've been at LMU for 4 years now, right?
Right, August will be 4 years. Wow, time flies.
Wow. Well, I know I met you around 8 years ago,
Mhm.
and I met you when you were working at Pepperdine in the
That's
Office of
true.
Admissions. Rich Dawson, hello, my friend. If you're watching, hello, and Christy, I have your mug here,
I,
LMU.
good work. I, again, will get you a black one that's sparkly with the white writing in August.
So I tell you, this is my favorite. It's fading a little bit, but I always think about you because I do a lot of commutes from Boca Raton to Miami, and the water keeps so cold in here, and it could go up to 24 hours. So
Wow,
wherever you get these babies, thank you so much.
sure.
Okay, so let's move on. We have parents watching. We have students that still are deciding where they're going
Sure.
to school. We have colleagues in higher education. We have high school counselors, independent counselors, entrepreneurs. We have a lot of families, and we call this segment conversations because before we deep into LMU, it's about you, my friend, too. I want to learn much as I can. So
Sure.
where did you go to school? Where are you from?
I grew up in Ontario, California, which is just on the other side of Los Angeles County. Right now I'm sitting in Chino, California.
Okay.
So I have grown up and gone to school around Los Angeles all my life, except for a short stint in the middle of the US and in Italy.
Okay. And your parents, where are they from?
My parents, my dad is Californian and my mother is from El Paso,
Okay.
Texas.
Okay. All right.
And my mother is of Mexican descent and my father is of German descent.
Okay, good. How's your German?
Ich kann sprechen auf Deutsch. Nein. No.
Okay. Me
Ich kann
neither.
sprechen. I
I,
don't speak.
so that's where it goes. So uh, you kind of told me, but I want you to disclose this to all my friends, all of the students that are watching. Do you go to a public or you went to a private high school? Hola,
I
Chupi.
I went to a public high school, the type of high school that asks you, can you fog a mirror and sign your name? Here is your high school diploma, right?
Okay. Okay.
And so it was very close to here, Ontario High School. And having gone to a public school, I didn't really think I was going to go to college. It wasn't the type of high school that prepared you very well for college, at least in those times. So actually became a non-traditional student. And
Okay.
I didn't join the circus, but I joined a band after high
Wow.
school. Yeah.
Wow. And so in high school, were you in the orchestra? Were you in a high school band?
I was a band geek to the core, yes. I was in marching band, concert band, district band. I was the drum corps leader, but not the person that walks in front of everyone, the one that's in charge of all the drummers.
Okay, so you played the drums, you played congas?
I played congas, I played the set, I played
Wow.
all of the other percussive instruments as well, but my specialty was snare drum and set.
So when you finished high school, did you join a band? What's the name of the band?
Oh no, I won't reveal any of that because then you might
No.
be able to find some of that information online. And oh no, thank you.
Okay, so
Let's
we
just say
will.
we all go through an awkward stage, right?
Okay, so you were there on a band, and then you decided to go to college. Then you say,
Right. After 2 years of traveling the United States from like one weekend in Miami and one weekend in Seattle and everywhere in between, I decided that I didn't want to wake up at age 30 on someone's couch waiting for the next gig. And so I decided that I was going back to school, which even my parents were shocked. And the
okay.
irony now is that I am an administrator at a university.
And tell us a little bit for the students watching from China, from Colombia, from Mexico, from the US, from all over the world. We're with Christie Culp, Associate Director of International Admissions at LMU and Outreach. So we're talking about her life first, and then we dip into LMU. So Christy, when you decided to go back to college, of course you say, I want to go to my hometown, I want to go to Los Angeles, and I want to go to my state. You did your college search. So during your college search, can you share your list and where did you graduate from?
So first, I have to say that I had to go to community college right after high school because I hadn't made those plans, and so I went to Chaffey College here in Rancho Cucamonga,
Okay.
and I was a first generation student, and so my college list really consisted of some state schools around here. I knew that my major was going to be communication, and so I was looking at Cal State Fullerton. I was looking at Cal Poly Pomona.
Okay.
And then I randomly had a friend that graduated from this school called Pepperdine. I
Okay.
kind of heard about it, and so I thought, I'll add it to the list. I actually only applied to, and this is a do as I say, not as I do example. I applied to one school.
Wow. Wow.
Again, first to go, I was really going it on my own, and I applied to one school. I happened to get into that one school, and my parents were like, "That's fabulous, but let's see the financials." And I happened to get a fabulous scholarship, and they made it more affordable for me to go to attend there than it was for me to attend a Cal State school.
Wow. So you got your bachelor's degree in,
Intercultural communication.
okay, alrighty. And I will say that they did really well because you're a phenomenal communicator. People
Thanks.
in the admission arena in high schools around the world, they love you. You really connect
Thank
with
you.
all of us. You have something very special. So I really mean it. The whole
Thank
team
you.
at T for Education loves you. And when I posted that you were going live this Friday, a lot of counselors say, yeah, Christy, Christy. So you did well. So from Pepperdine, you said, okay, I got to move on. And then what happened there?
So during my tenure as an undergrad at PEP, I knew I wanted to study abroad, and I studied in Florence, which is the number one destination for all U.S. students. And
Hmm.
then I added on a minor, and then I also worked in the Office of International Student Services doing programming, and most of my friends were international anyway. So it was just like a big social um, atmosphere for me. And then decided that I wanted to follow my heart and continue to study Italian language.
Okay.
And after 3 years of studying Italian, I was admitted to UCLA's Department of Italian, which was I mean, I started studying 3 years before I started teaching Italian
Okay.
at UCLA. So it was intense.
Wow.
And I had so much fun teaching the undergraduates at UCLA, and I didn't know that I would be passionate about working with university students, and I thought I was going to be a university professor, which then the next step after UCLA was to continue teaching Italian. So I went from undergraduate to UCLA with a TA-ship, and then graduated and found a job as a professor a year or so after I finished.
Christy, classrooms at UCLA when you were teaching at that level, were there a lot of students? Was it small classrooms? How was it?
So I can't speak for all of the classrooms. I know that some are quite large, right? And they
Okay.
have sections where they break them off, and there's a TA to discuss more the intimate details of whatever the readings were. But in our classes, my largest class was about 22 for language, and they were very strict on not going over that number because exponentially, as you put more students in the classroom, the student experience and attention drops significantly. And
Okay.
so 22 was my limit.
Okay, that's good. You remind me, when I was in college, I did a minor in French.
Hmm.
So every semester I was taking French. And kudos to you guys for teaching us languages because it's not really easy. Uh, uh, I, I salute you for teaching languages. It's really tough.
But it is a lot of fun, especially one summer UCLA selected me to teach Italian 1
Mm.
in Florence, and that was fabulous. That was so much fun to work and be paid in Italy by the UC system. It was a month program, and it was so much fun to see students develop intellectually and develop those conversational skills. You know, sometimes I would break in the middle of class and tell them, now go use exactly what I just taught you to order your coffee and your sfogliatina di riso. And so they would come back electrified and excited about the topic. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Christy, I have so much respect for international students coming, going
Yes,
anywhere. And my respect goes when English is their second language
right.
for a lot of them. And then they are taking courses in their second language. And they
Mm,
decide that they want to go for a third language that is being
right.
taught through English. So imagine your brain is going from your native language to English to a third or fourth language. So it's phenomenal how the brain works.
Right. Well, in my classroom, there was no English. And
Okay.
in fact, if you used English, I would walk around and smack your hand. And then make you bring cookies or some desserts for the students, the other students, the next time.
Okay.
That was your way of not getting points docked from your daily participation.
Well,
Yeah.
I must confess my dictionary was paper and it was from English to French because somehow
Uh,
I said I don't want to force to go to Spanish. So anyway, all languages are interconnected, but that's really cool. Then you finish your master's and you decide to be a visiting professor. Then you went to Pepperdine, taught for a
yes.
couple of years.
Yes.
And that transition from being a professor to the admissions office, how did
Right.
that happen?
Well, let's just preface this with I love Italy. I love Italians. I love the language, the culture, the food. It's really fascinating. And but the world is big and the world is beautiful. And the more vibrant the colors and the variety, the more I'm intrigued. And so Italy is the size of the state of Arizona. And I felt after a couple of years of teaching, I felt a little uncomfortable in that pigeonhole of one culture, one country, one language. And I started thinking about all of my friends that I had during my undergraduate and graduate years that were from somewhere else. And so there was a position open in the Office of International Student Services, and I jumped on it.
That
So, so I wanted to broaden my horizon. I wanted to continuously learn about different cultures. I mean, as an interculturalist and a trained professor in language, obviously you have an insatiable appetite for learning and culture and travel. So yes, I was really excited when there was a position open, and then I moved from one position to assistant director, and then got to have those conversations with families about what it's like to study in the U.S., what it's like to study in a language not your own, which I did have that experience at UCLA. Granted, it was in the U.S., but it was all in Italian
Christy,
with Italian colleagues.
we
So
have here Dr. Karen Sierra. She's not as chupi chupi, and she loves Italy, and she has a question for you.
yes.
Dr. Sierra, she was a former housewife of Miami. She's been on TV, and she say, which part of Italy, which region is your favorite?
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's lots of loyalty to Florence and Tuscany. So let's just put that on the side. And outside of Tuscany, it really depends on what you're looking for, frankly.
Be careful.
I really love, yeah, I know. Trying to be political here. Um, Val Gardena is beautiful in the Dolomite Mountains, but also in the Alps is really gorgeous. It's where this California girl first tried snowboarding.
Yeah.
Don't do that if you're not from a mountainous region. Trying skiing for the first time in the Alps, not advisable. Um, but I have to say, the place that speaks most to my soul, probably La Costiera Amalfitana. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
Amalfi Coast. So
Oh,
you have these cliffs that fall into the ocean with these lemon trees growing out the
yeah.
size of really
Capri.
rocky mountains, and you get
Positano.
wafts of lemon even at night as the sun has baked the lemons. I could do a travel commercial for Campania. So
Well,
maybe that's the next step. Who knows?
well, I tell you, Italy, for those of you that are Italian citizens and you have a beautiful country, we
Yes.
had an opportunity, the whole team at JCT for Education, we run a program at Battasiolo Vineyard near Barolo, and we drove for 1,000 kilometers, so 1,000 miles,
Wow.
all to the southern point of Italy. And we went to a town called Alberobello. I don't know if you went to Alberobello. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. You have to go there. So anyway, that's for Italian. Christy, then you start developing your skills as an admission counselor. You got your job at LMU, and you're still rocking California. You have amazing skills to go anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world as an admission officer. Why did you decide to stay in California, and why LMU?
That's a very good question. I would eventually love to live somewhere else, but I really believe in the education at the institutions where I have worked. And so if I were to change institutions, it would have to be a really fabulous package, and I would very much have to believe in the institution. So it doesn't matter how much money any institution would offer me for any position, whether that be higher education or secondary education. I would really have to believe in the institution.
Good.
And I love the sun, so there's that.
Well, I tell you, I've been to your university myself, and I'm speechless. The view, but what is what I find the most beautiful about LMU is their heart. Your heart over there is big. You really mean it. We had an opportunity to run a social program in Colombia, and you guys chip in to have these wonderful hats for these young women in
Right.
Colombia, and that was from your heart. So when I speak LMU, I speak charity, I speak values, foundation. So I mean, you guys got it together. So good for you. Thank you
Even
for your
even
support.
even now, students are volunteering virtually. So there, we have a Center for Service and Action, and we're number three in the U.S. for the number of hours. It's over 200,000 hours that students are logging. So it's definitely within that fabric of the identity of the university. And now that, we've all been forced in this virtual, from face to face to the virtual, we're seeing a lot of students volunteer, especially with migrant communities in the U.S., and tutoring underserved students. I mean, we're limited to what we can do virtually, but they're finding creative ways to continue with that service. So
Okay.
it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Alrighty. So let's focus now on your institution,
Sure.
California as well,
Right.
and let's rock and roll. So what's happening right now? Yesterday, we saw a big announcement from Culp State. They'll be teaching online this fall.
Right.
And what is cooking? What is happening right now? Public side, no more announcements, but what's happening right now in the private sector at LMU? What are you guys talking about your fall class? How will that be taught this fall?
So all of our decisions are based on two ethos, right? One is safety of community, and the other is student experience. And so any decisions that we're not making in a vacuum. On campus, for decades, we've had the Center for the Study of the City of Los Angeles, and so we have always been very well connected with the mayor's office and the director of public health, and that's increased lately. We're on daily telephone calls with Mayor Eric Garcetti and Dr. Barbara Ferrer, who is the director of public health in Los Angeles County. Um, we're closely watching the data and the modeling throughout the city. And right now, according to that data, for specifically for LMU, it's looking like we will be able to host students on campus.
Okay.
Obviously, there's going to be lots of modifications. Some of the modifications will be very attractive to our students. Obviously, nothing is in stone because the situation keeps changing. It's like a moving target, right? So, as we're looking at the data now, it's looking like students might have single rooms, and students might do some classes in very large settings with no more than a certain number of students. There might have to be PPE, like personal protective equipment. But all the decisions that we are making, they're being looked at with those two priorities of community safety and student experience. So we're doing our due diligence and being sure that also we're accommodating for our international students, because let's face it, some of the embassies and consulates might not open in time for students to get visas. And so we have contingency plans for those students as well, because we don't want those students to be left behind if they want to continue with their education. So there's lots of contingency plans of how do we accommodate those students. And we have also instituted for international students specifically, for all students, but especially for international students, the ability to elect to defer one semester or a year. And so obviously all of us universities are in the same boat. When you're thinking about deferring for a year, then you also have to think that there's a class of 2020 that's coming. And so you're going to have a bottleneck in your finite amount of space. So we're trying to be able to accommodate both class of 2020, high school class of 2020, and the incoming class of 2021 in a way that, again, where there's safety of community and there's number two priority of student experience. So it's been very challenging, but refreshing to see that student experience and the person, whether that's student or staff, is at the heart of all of those decisions.
Well, thank you. And surely I will call you back probably in 2 months so we can have updates from Los Angeles, from Christie Culp. Now, Christie, go ahead.
July 1 is the deadline where our provost must make a decision. So we will know by July 1 what fall will look like.
So we got to invite you July 2nd.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Production team, write it down. July 2nd, Christie Culp is back. Christie, one thing that I love about your campus, when I fly from Miami direct to LA, I feel like I can walk from the runway into your campus, into your office. Can you tell them how close you are to LAX?
So how about this? One of my students flew in, and Uber was taking a long time to get there, so he just pulled out his skateboard.
Wow.
And skated to campus. I haven't walked home. I live right next to the university. I haven't walked home myself, but it's about 5 minutes if there's no traffic. But the irony is that we're right by where the planes land, so the noise pollution happens over the water or over like South Central Los Angeles. All we get is the convenience, frankly.
You know what? I've been to your campus a couple of times. I have never heard a plane like the noise. It's just so convenient, and the view from your campus to LA. Oh my gosh, it's breathtaking. It's
Like if you
absolutely
had a good arm, you could throw a rock and hit the Google hangar where they have
correct.
Google or Snapchat or Facebook.
Correct. Christy, what's the percentage of international students right now at LMU, both graduate and undergraduate?
So overall, okay, so there's lots of demographics, right?
Okay.
And I think that the spirit of this question is diversity. 10% is our published number. In all actuality, it's more like 12. When it
Okay.
comes to transfer students, it's more like 20. But
Okay.
diversity is really hard to quantify in a city like Los Angeles because we have 200 languages here. A lot of people that have a green card that are on campus, we can't quantify them either. There's a lot of people that speak another language at home and come and study in English. Our main languages are Korean, obviously Spanish, Mandarin, Vietnamese. And so you have a larger, more diverse population than you can really even quantify. And you really do see that on campus.
Okay.
Um, but the international perspective and diversity is very much celebrated on campus. In fact,
Well,
our provost is from Hong Kong.
oh wow, wow. And Christy, thank you for and thank you LMU for extending to a lot of students the deadline to deposit. Um, I know it's coming up very soon. The students they better make their minds soon. So, what message do you have to those students? Maybe we have a couple of students that still deciding about LMU. What message do you have right now?
I would say if you are still undecided, um, request a meeting. I've had lots of students, especially this year, that are uncertain, either for the financial piece or which school fits them best. And I've been pretty successful at getting the deans of the colleges that
Okay.
make themselves available to have conversations, professors, current students. And so I want what my hope is that students make the most informed decision, and we are all working from home. What else do we have to do, right?
Yeah.
So if you need more information, you're not bothering us. Reach out, and if you
Okay.
need a further extension, um, we might say no, but we might say yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just ask.
So I actually I know a couple of students. They are in Latin America. They're trying to finalize their decision. What
Right.
type of technology, virtual technology, do you have for students that are still making that decision? Besides talking to the dean, besides talking to you, what other tools do they have?
So we have been working with current students and putting them in contact with prospective students or admitted students. We
Okay.
also had a virtual preview day that we recorded. We had a student panel. We had all the deans give a talk to their admitted students. We have virtual campus tours. But I think it's not the technology necessarily, but it's the people, which is why if you want to inform yourself and get the information, it's online. It's definitely there. And if there's that piece that you're missing, it's probably the human piece.
Okay.
So reach out and we're here. We also have office hours every day. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can visit international.lmu.edu/visit or
Oh,
just Google LMU International Visit and it will be the first hit.
perfect. I am on a couple international WhatsApp chats with high school counselors and independent counselors. The big talk right now are summer programs. A lot
Right,
of summer programs cancel, cancel, cancel.
right.
And you guys have developed any online summer programs for high school students?
We do have programs for high school students, and this is a great time to talk about it because the deadline is May 22nd to
Okay.
apply.
Okay.
And I reached out, just in case you asked this question, I reached out to the director to see if any of them were still open, if they still had space.
Okay.
There's limited space in global sports entertainment business,
Wow.
environmental science, and acting. Remember, we're in Los Angeles, so some of these are going to be very creative economy oriented. And then there's space available in things like 3D art, stage design, graphic design, comics and graphic novels, and campaign and elections. This would be a really fabulous year to take this political
Wow.
science class regarding campaign and elections. So those
Are,
are some of the opportunities.
are those 5 days or 10 days, 2 weeks? How is it working?
So they are there's two different sessions. They are 2 weeks, and then there's also a production class that is 4 weeks long. So it really depends on the program. But again, I can send you, or you can Google LMU summer programs, and it will give you the list of available classes.
The, any idea price ranges?
About $2,400, unless you would like to pursue the class that's 4 weeks, and then you just, 4 weeks is double the price. So it's double the
Okay.
time, double the price.
Already. Well, thank you so much. I will make sure send me the link. I want to send it to our contacts in Latin America, through our
Sure.
colleagues. I will put it on our Instagram account. And Christy, I want to take a second just to say congratulations to all our seniors, to all high school students, to all university students, undergraduate, graduate, doctoral. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes. You
This
are the most resilient class that we've had yet.
Yes, yesterday, JCT for Education, we did a send-off for our class, and we were talking about being resilient, being the future leaders, the leaders that won't let things like this happen again. So we're
Right.
counting on this generation to help our generation or our future generation. So congratulations. Question for you. Snoop Dogg, I saw him, I saw his message. Tell me a little bit about you're in the city of, I mean, you're in Hollywood area. What's going on there?
We've had a lot of celebrities Zoom bomb our classes. When we use that term, but really they've been invited, and those that have responded have been included in some of the classes. And Snoop Dogg was the latest celebrity to come into class and to congratulate the class of 2020, and really admonished them to think about the we and to get after it.
Okay.
So
Wow.
basically, your message. So
So are you
go
guys
Snoop
talking
Dogg.
about for this class doing a physical commencement in the future? Any talk about it?
We are looking to celebrate this class sometime in the future. We don't know what that looks like. We're maybe thinking about December. We preliminarily we were thinking about including them in next year's graduation class. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
There's just too many people.
Yeah.
20,000 people on campus is not going to happen.
Well,
So
I was telling our students last night that we have students graduating from high school, from undergraduate, and from graduate. And I told them, please, if you can go back and your schools, your institutions are celebrating the graduation and commencements, go back.
right,
Because I had a guest here on our live from Churromania, Ariel Acosta Rubio, and he said that he didn't go to his graduation, and that's one of his biggest regrets. So
hmm,
I will encourage all of our students watching, try to make sure to go back to your alma maters and go to get that physical diploma. So, Christy, how many countries you travel to?
I don't have a definite count, but if I'm allowed to count all of the layovers, it's somewhere around 55.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's good. I have a friend of mine who says if you have a Pepsi Cola or a Coca Cola in that lounge, it counts as a visit. So that this,
How
so
about how about a pisco sour?
that'd be good. That'd be really good. And could I say, why do they call you Aventurosa?
I mean, I change time zones like I change my socks in my
Okay,
normal life, so maybe that's why.
okay, that's really good. Christy, it's been an honor having you on our show. Oh, Colombia.
Some of
Nice.
my favorite places to travel in the world include Colombia, and let's see if you can guess this.
Let's see. Ooh. Mm. Is that?
We have to call this a place and not a country. That's a hint.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking Turkey.
That's the crescent moon. This is Hong Kong.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, apologies to my friends in
No,
Hong Kong.
no.
It's been a long time. It's 2003, my last time in Hong Kong, 2004.
We'll,
So,
we'll have to get
wow,
you back on the road to visit
I have
those
to.
gems.
I have to. And listen, favorite meal in Colombia?
Arepa.
Arepa.
Hmm.
Empanadas?
I like the empanada, but I like the stuffed arepa.
Okay. Hey, somebody is writing here, Ecuador. So,
Oh, Jimena. Is it that Jimena?
yes, I see
Okay,
him.
Jimena. It wouldn't be the cuy. Oh, and I love Ecuador too. It's just that I haven't been able to explore Ecuador as much as I have Colombia. Colombia, when I arrive
Well,
in Medellin, it feels like home. Literally
well,
feels like home.
thank you, thank you to you and LMU for attending our JCT for Education seminars. We don't know what's going to happen in September, and that's kind of one of my questions. What's
Yeah.
happening with fall travel for universities? Any talks?
So we are, there are many different plans. We would love to think that mid-October we would be able to start traveling, but you have to realize that we are not the only people on the earth. And
Yeah.
so what's best for everyone is what the approach that we need to take. There's also some logistics that are in place. For example, if we were to go to some countries, they have 28-day quarantine. So
Uh-huh.
that's not
Wow.
feasible.
Oh, wow.
So what we're doing now is we're planning for the best, meaning planning to travel, and then planning our contingency plans of really recreating ourselves virtually, and uh, how do we recreate that personal connection, human connection virtually. And this is
Oh,
something that we're all learning. So it's been a challenge, but life often requires lots of evolution, and we're here to grow.
yes, two things. I just watched today a presentation from a dear friend of mine. She's one of the best publicists, best advertising uh, person in Latin America. And her presentation was about the
Mm,
new world that we have to adjust. And then yesterday I watched a segment from Bill Maher and about we cannot be any longer afraid. We need to enhance. We need to
right.
just move forward as a nation, as a humankind, as a civilization. And I know precautions will be taken, but we just can't be afraid the rest of our lives. So I think we're living unprecedented times, but we need to adjust. We need to learn, embrace it, and move forward. So see here Gallo Pinto, Casado in Costa Rica.
I do
Absolutely.
like gallo pinto. I absolutely love pupusas and
Oof,
rice and beans in Guatemala, but on the eastern coast. Dumplings from anywhere in Asia.
oof,
But I have
absolutely.
yet to try the cuy in Ecuador, Jimena.
Yes, yeah, I love Thai food. I mean, we are very fortunate. I've been to 89 countries, and there is one
Wow.
country that is still questioned. My friend Skip Stats, he questioned my country because he was a layover and he doesn't accept layovers as counting a country. But absolutely, we're very fortunate to have the jobs that we have. Hopefully, we're going back.
Right.
This has been awesome, Christy, having you on our live conversation because I'm cautious about time. Any last thoughts, any last suggestions to students, colleagues, parents? What would you
Yes.
like to end? How would you like to end this conversation?
I would say that life has been teaching me in the last year that everything is finite. Everything is temporal, and that even this situation is not here to stay. It's here to pass. And so it's up to us what type of outlook that we take and how we approach the situation. And it is very much in our power to approach the situation with positivity and with awareness that there is opportunity right now if you have the mental bandwidth to be able to recognize it. So,
Correct.
and it's every morning you choose to what type of mentality that you're going to have and how you're going to approach it. So as we're going through this rough moment, we will be together in the future. Things will return to a new normal. And so until then, best of luck, and I'll see you soon.
Well, thank you. And Renee, thank you for your message to everybody watching. For you, JCT for Education with LMU, Associate Director of International Missions, Christie Culp. You rock. We love you. And for those of you watching, yesterday, Instagram Live made a change. This video will no longer be on that circle for 24 hours, but instead it is going into the IGTV on Instagram. So it will be there for live. The quality is much better. And we're housing this video as well on our YouTube channel, JCT for Education. I will send you the link, Christy. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. I love you guys. I miss you, and hopefully see you soon.
See you soon, and I can't wait that day that we can all go back and give each other a hug. So take care.
Bye, everyone.
Love to your parents
Happy weekend.
and your
Thank you
family.
so much.
Happy weekend. Thank you, Christy. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.